How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be diving into the first episode of my free-to-play challenge, a challenge I'm going to be doing over the course of the month of July, where I start off with a fresh account, free-to-play, where I don't spend any money and only use anything that is available to me as a free-to-play player, with the end goal of being making a pretty competitive deck by the end of this challenge. We'll go through some various ways that I think about making some additional currency other than just getting the initial daily wins and doing the dailies there. Also taking a couple risks because some of the money making ways in MTG Arena unfortunately do have some risk to the reward that you do get, with them being ways of doing events and things like that, hopefully with the chance of earning some additional currency to kind of keep my farm go there. And then hopefully before the end of the 30 days, we'll end up with a deck that is fully competitive in some form or manner, whether it is built towards rotation or something along those lines, as I'm unsure by the time the end of the month happens if we'll end up getting that 2023 standard queue that we've gotten in prior years whenever rotation comes, where we have some time to play test. If not, I'll probably try my best to then create a current standard deck of some form or manner. And, if you guys want to, you can kind of go about and, follow along. Maybe you want to start a journey with me and see what you get. I know this journey can be different depending on what you get in the packs. Just because, everyone has different RNG when it comes to opening certain things, whether it's getting wild cards and things like that, or cards you need maybe for a particular deck. But with that out of the way, let's just dive into it and let's just kind of talk through it as we are doing it. So, here we are. Here is the free-to-play account. I probably won't show you the whole process of going through the color challenge, but the first thing we are going to do in this video is going to be diving into the color challenge, as I believe this is how you unlock, technically, the other screen. I believe you can skip this, but I think this is how you, in theory, if you're a new player to the game, this is how you unlock the initial menu screen. And you go through the various colors, kind of get the tutorial of how to play the game, and then after that, we will then dive into other means of getting various things. But let's just first do this, and then we'll jump back into it in just a second, thanks to the power of editing. All right, and we are done. Now, the one thing I wasn't aware of through this is that I kind of forgot that you get rewarded at the end of each of the tiers. So the one thing we did walk away with after doing all the color challenges, now we have 2,800 gold, we have 160 gems. We also did get some wild cards here, so we have 10 common, 5 uncommon, 2 rare, 0 mythic, which is not a big deal this early in the progress. We also have vault progress, which is kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious what that is about. I'm guessing it's the cards from the color challenge to kind of go to vault. I'm not really sure. And on top of it, I didn't realize this is also a thing, but they also added in 5 jump-in tokens, as well as getting rewarded for the end of this. So we do have 5 free entries into the jump-in event, which is definitely kind of good, because actually that was kind of my first area to go and kind of try to get my daily wins is in the jump-in event, and I can now do 5 of them for free without actually having to spend any money, which is definitely very, very good. On top of that, it looks like we got 1 pack of Nuka Penna, as I do have the free-to-play. Oh, geez. Okay. As I do have the Mastery Pass here. It shows us that we're done with the color challenge, and now our quest is going to be reward is the red and green deck. We have to play a game to complete this quest. So essentially, if we play a single game, we'll complete that quest. We somehow have 4 daily wins and only 3 weekly wins, which is kind of weird. I don't understand why we're off. We did almost progress 2 of our daily challenges, and I think we completed a 3rd one just from playing the PvP match at the end of each of the color challenges. So the one thing I am going to do as well while I'm here, even though I do have progress in each of them, I'm going to take one of them and roll it. So I think I'm just going to take this and I'm going to roll the white or green spells. And we're trying to get the 751, and unfortunately it does not look like we got that. So now the next thing we want to probably do, I think, here is probably enter all of the free pack codes. I'll have a link down in the description below if you want to do this. This is actually going to be just a process of me going online real quick, getting all the pack codes that are currently available in MTG Arena that you can actually redeem in the store and actually get a bunch of pack codes. I am going to probably cut it there just so you're not sitting there watching me sit there and enter all the codes individually. And then I'll jump back into this after I'm done with that. And we'll kind of talk about what the next step is after doing that.
One eternity later.
All right, so we went ahead and we actually redeemed all of the pack codes that are currently available for free, and we kind of walked away with a decent amount. I think there's roughly, if I'm not mistaken, there's probably, I would say, over 30 packs worth of magic cards here. Sure, some of them are alchemy. Sure, some of them are sets that are no longer standard legal. But the benefit of us doing this is the fact that we are able to get the benefit of all these wild cards when the time comes to open. When we open them at that time, I'm not going to open them just yet, just because I know there's some people in that mindset that, let's just say I decide to do draft, I'm going to be getting cards through that. So I don't actually want to open these until I get the cards in draft because of duplication protection. So these will allow me to kind of maybe get those missing cards when the time comes. I'll have to take a look at the event list and kind of see what upcoming drafts there are for the quick draft, just because I know in July we're going to be switching over to D&D Baldur's Gate, which is not going to benefit me in making a standard deck just because that's an alchemy only set. But for now, we will have all these codes and eventually be getting all of these wild cards filled up and kind of hopefully progressing us closer and closer to the deck we want to build. So now after we're done with that, I think we're actually going to dive into the jump start, or jump in I should say, just because I feel like that's going to be the best game mode we're going to be able to get our wins with, just because it's an event that I, one, can get into for free because of my jump start tokens here, and two, it's going to be an event that the other players also be playing a jump in deck, so it's not like I'm going against other players playing like crazy constructed decks just because my collection is very limited. You know what, before I dive into this, let's just kind of take a quick look and just kind of show you what I have. As you see here, I have the monocolor decks, and then for the starter decks, I also have the monocolor decks. So that's all I currently have. My collection is pretty bare. All I really have are just a couple of the cosmetics I may have unlocked. Also, why is it so why are these so massive? There we go. We'll make them smaller. But as you see here, most of the cards I have in my collection are just all the cards from the starters, and maybe just a couple cards that are from other sets, just because I also did some of the cosmetic cards. So I got a free one card to kind of go along with the cosmetic, as you can kind of see here. I don't have them that you can't see because I'm missing cards, but we do have some cosmetics, which is definitely very good. But let's go into the jump-in event. I'm not sure if I'm going to show all the games or show some of them, but I'll at least show you the startup process of me doing the first one. We only need 11 wins for the daily, and then we need 12 for the weekly, which I still don't understand how we are off by one from one or the other. Really, the priority is just trying to max out the daily wins, just so I get that out of the way. Let me just see. Okay, I just have to play a game, essentially, to complete the first quest to get the first dual deck, and then tomorrow we'll get the next one. I just wanted to make sure that we were good with that, just because that's also important. We want to make sure we're getting our dual decks. And I think because I have 2 daily quests that are 4 different colors of playing certain cards, I want to make sure we at least have one to kind of roll tomorrow to try to get a 750 daily, and we're going to complete the other one. So I think I think one of the colors was black, so I feel like we're going to try either black or blue. So Spirits is pretty good, because Spirits, I believe, is one, it's a newer set, so this is not one of the sets that are going to be rotating once they update the jump-in event next week as well. So I think Spirits is definitely a good first pick. Warriors has some older cards, and same thing with Landfall. That's a Zendikar mechanic. So I think if we're looking to also future-proof ourselves, Spirits is probably the most ideal choice for pick one. And then I'm also gonna probably do mechs, just because mechs kind of go along with Kamigawa. It's also in our color wheel. I mean, all our packs are really in our color wheel, but I think mechs is the best just because of the fact that it is also, for the most part, going to be cards from newer sets that kind of fill up this packet. So let's kind of open them up, kind of see what we got going on here. Spirit Mechs is kind of an interesting combination. But I mean, it's not a bad amount of pulls. I mean, there are some older cards from Zendikar, Strixhaven, and stuff, but our 2 rares, it looks like we have a Surge Hacker Mech, which is an okay card. And then what's our other rare is the real question. Where is our other rare hidden? Okay, so we have one Denic, which is definitely pretty decent as well. So it looks like we have a little bit of Disturbed, a little bit of, some bounce spells and things like that. And I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a grind to do the jump-in event just because the decks aren't super optimized. I mean, you have 2 random piles put together. You're also playing against another person who's playing up 2 random piles together. But it's definitely a good way to kind of start building up our collection, building up the daily wins in a way that we're not really investing a whole bunch. The other thing is, I probably won't enter in multiple jump-in events and just try to get multiple packs, even though they're free immediately. I'll probably stick with one for a while until I feel like I get bored of it. Is definitely probably the route I'm going to go, and then kind of go from there. So we're on the play. Our hand's pretty good. You know, we have 3 lands, we have our colors, which is good. But what I was saying is, like, I feel like I want to kind of like make the first jump-in packet kind of last a while until I kind of really figure out where I want to spend my currency. And like I said, I do think even though I have the free things, I don't know if I want to immediately jump in to that. Question is, do we play the 1/3, which blocks this? They're not going to be able to pump it. We'll play this. Just because it blocks well. Kind of gets in their way. Which I think is beneficial to us here. I mean, I could have played the 2/1, but it dies pretty easily to the 1/1 because that gets first strike when it attacks on their turn. I mean, it's possible they also have a pump spell or a burn spell. I mean, that really gets around it. I mean, I'll make them have it. It costs 3. Sure. If they wanted to waste one of their pump spells in the process, I mean, I'm all about it. Blind Vigilance, not bad. Let's play. We'll play the Shipwreck Sifters. Yet again, plays pretty well. Allows us to kind of maybe get rid of stuff. I actually really like most of my hand. We'll get rid of the card that affects non-creature spells because we have only creatures for the most part. I'll take whatever they do. I mean, if they waste their mana into burning that, oh, sweet. It's a defender, so it doesn't really do anything, and that doesn't attack well into this. I mean, if they attack, I'll block. It's an easy block. Sure. I'm not sure why, to be quite honest. Hippogriff. Yeah, that's a big oops, I would say. I mean, unless they're doing it on purpose, I don't really know. I mean, this is definitely one of those things though where people are learning the game still. Like, I can't really say anything. You know, people are still learning how to play, learning new mechanics. This is definitely not a set, you know, that people really know immediately. Okay, so they got their nice fancy rare, which is good. Odric is definitely a good card. The question is, do they really want to attack into us is the real question. Next turn, we could play Burying the Books and maybe keep mana open if we draw our extra mana. I'll take 3. I'm not in a big hurry to do too much with that. We didn't draw anything. We'll attack in the air just because it's not going to cost us anything. Oh, it has reach. Oops. Joy. See, even I make mistakes. But I mean, might as well just because yeah. Player 3/2 in the air. Just create a little bit of a board presence. I mean, this has haste. It doesn't have first strike or anything. So all right, can't block alone. Gotcha. I'm not sure why you would throw away your creature. I never really understood. And this really sucks that we don't have much going on. Nice. Yeah, I mean, uh, getting kind of wide, but it's not doing much. I mean, they have a 4/4. Missing a like we could use a land. Like if we get a fifth land, we're in good spots because I mean that casts everything we have essentially. Sure. All right, they're trying to dig a little bit. Interesting. I feel like it's a really good card. I mean, unless they really want their fifth land. I mean, I'll make this trade. I can recast this from the graveyard. We can cast Flipside Danik, I believe. So we get a nice 3/2. No tax. Frost Giant's not bad. A 5 mana 4/5 with Ward 3. Pretty strong. Sure. I mean, a wall can't attack. Yeah, sure. Feel like this is the best play, just because it's pretty strong. I mean, you can make that trade. It's a 3/2 in the air. I have a 4/5. 4/5 ward. That really like prevents a lot of things actually from it being targeted by, because they have to make an investment at 3 to really target it, or it gets countered. So like a big spell that's going to remove my 4/5 is going to cost a lot of mana that they're not going to have available to play the ward on top of this cast of the spell. Sure. I mean, I'll attack. Sweet. Sweet. Get a 3/1. I'll take the 3/4. Let's shuffle you, and I guess you. Oh. I'll shuffle them. Shuffle. I mean, we're sitting in a good spot here. Okay. I mean, that's pretty big. It's definitely a card I block. Easy snap block. Because they trade. I don't think there's a 1 mana burn. I don't think like there's a shock in the format, but I could be wrong. They keep on analyzing their board. Like, I guess they're assessing the situation. All right, we're going to combat. Sure. We'll block there, and we'll block here. So we'll get rid of the card that's pumping things. We can always sit back. It's not a big deal. Let's just do this. I'm not really sure what could be going on. I mean, I can crew up my mobilizer if they try to kill this in response. Mobilizer comes into play. Sure. I'll take 5. Well, you know what? I'll crew. And then past the blockers, I'll take 1. And now they're tapped out and they die on the kickback plot? The kickback? I feel like that wasn't a calculated attack, but that's game 1. So we get the win, we get some gold, we get some XP, we get a free card from the event. It looks like we have a mastery orb. Did we get another pack? It looks like we have a 5th pack in New Capenna. We are sitting at level 5, so if we get another couple XPs, we can maybe walk away with a few packs, which is definitely good, puts us in a good position. We unlocked our first starter deck, our first other starter deck, so we have our Savage Land starter deck, which is the landfall one. It's not a bad one. Definitely got some rares. You know, this adds to our overall collection. You know, we have 1 pathway, which is good if we decide to go red or green. We get some Evolving Wilds, which is always a plus. Outside of that, I feel like most of the cards here are going to be older cards because this came out before the new sets in September and on. So definitely cards that don't help us for a future-proof deck, but definitely a good start there. The next thing I'll probably do is I'll dive back into playing Jumpstart and probably try to knock out my my last 10 wins, and I'll probably skip ahead just because it seems like the games are going to take a while, and then we'll probably talk about where to go from here. What else I could do possibly. You know, we're sitting at 3,300 gold. You know, are we going to maybe jump into a draft at some point? You know, I'll probably save up a decent amount of gold before I really figure that part out. But let me jump into my games, and then we'll kind of wrap up the rest of this, and we'll kind of talk about maybe my experience and maybe think about what other things I could do to kind of build up some that initial currency. So we're back to the main home screen after doing our jumpstart for the daily wins. I am actually recording this in the morning just because I kind of grinded out through the night and then kind of went to bed on the first day. I actually didn't max out my daily win, so I missed out on about 75-ish gold. I thought I still had time, as I thought the daily wins reset alongside when you know, the daily rewards in the shop reset, but I found out that they reset sometime my time in the middle of the morning, super early, as well as the daily quests here at the bottom, as I was able to re-roll one of them to get a 750. So I'm prepared for the second day per se. So I'm not actually going to jump into any games to finish it out, just because we're technically on day 2 now. We're already done with day 1. The other thing that's kind of interesting here, just because everything, I guess, works on a different clock, is the quest here that we have for the next deck. Still has 12 hours until it becomes available, so everything's kind of weird and wonky, I guess, in Arena. Everything's on a different timer. But at the end of day 1 here in Arena, we finished out with about 3,400 gold, which is definitely very good. It puts us in a good spot if we're thinking about doing draft, or if we even wanted to try our best at doing even chromatic cube, which is an interesting way to possibly get a decent amount of gold, but it does cost 4,000 gold to get into. We could try that. When it comes to overall packs that we have, we ended up with 6 packs of Streets of New Capenna, 3 of them coming from the Mastery Pass as we did get to level 7. And when we still have all these other packs in our possession that we can open up at any time, I'm going to hold off just for the time being, just because, you know, I'm not sure exactly which direction I want to go deck-wise, so I'm holding these just for that duplicate protection. Also, you know, depending on how many jump starts I do and things like that, you know, it's definitely one of those things where I could end up getting cards from these sets. I'd rather have these afterwards, after I get, like, a possibility of getting duplicates. So definitely pretty cool there. As far as other currency, we do have still 10 commons, 5 uncommons, and 2 mythic, 0 rare mythic rares and 2 regular rares. We still have 4 jump in tokens, so depending on when I look at the daily quests again on the next video, I will determine if I have the right colors to complete one of the daily quests. If not, maybe we'll use one of these new jump in tokens and we'll start up the next jump in event to get a different deck. Other note I have is I know we only have 7 days left in the Mastery Pass at the time of recording. So as you see this video and you see this part, what tree do you think I should invest into with my Mastery Orbs, at least for this current Mastery Pass? I don't think I'll max out a tree, but if you guys want to leave a comment about what tree maybe I should start with, I'll maybe put my Mastery Orbs into that one and see how far I can get it in the time being until then. But guys, if you like the video, hit that like button. It definitely helps out a lot. If you want to, throw out your suggestions on what I should do next in the next video or next videos, let me know in the comments below. If you want to make sure you're up to date and know when I post these videos, just hit that subscribe button and I will see you in the next video. Just want to give a special shout out to the channel members here on my YouTube channel. You can also become a channel member yourself down below the video, hitting that join button. It definitely helps out a lot, and I just appreciate you guys for your support.